Hey YouTube, Nick Too Sick here, back with another fishing video. Today, it's the middle of May, so you know what time that is, you guys. It's time for the California Delta Fishing Report for this month. As you can see, it's nice and windy, you guys. It's been windy for 3 weeks. That's been the theme of this month, is wind, wind, and more wind. Okay, nice bluebird skies, sun's out, but there's just a tremendous amount of wind. If it's anywhere from 10 to 15 miles an hour on the slower days, up to 20-25 miles per hour, this wind has been, you know, at least 3 weeks in a row. It's been kind of insane, you guys. So, with that being said, let's get into the fishing review, because it's been really weird this month. I caught a couple fish today. I caught 3 fish, put up about 7 pounds. Nothing too exciting. I didn't go out for, you know, all too that long. I'm out here at Big Break Marina in Oakley, California today. So let's talk a little bit about what I've been doing this month. So I like to fish in the morning. When I get up in the morning, I like to chase that morning bite. It's really good. These fish wake up and want to eat breakfast just like people do. So when I get out on the river, you guys, first thing I start throwing in the morning is top water. I'm still throwing my frog. Snag proof, of course. So I'm still getting bit on this. Maybe not the way that I would like to. They've actually been hitting my second top water bait, buzz bait, a little bit better. So in the morning, this is what I'm throwing. I'll have a frog tied on one rod. I'll have my buzz bait tied on the other. I go with snag proof frogs, and my buzz bait of choice is an Evolution Baits grass burner. I like these baits a lot. This is, in my opinion, this is the best buzz bait on the market. So if you don't have one, check it out. It's pretty expensive, but it's worth it, you guys. There's a new one out also, a larger one that floats, and I haven't tried that one yet, but I'm definitely going to, because of how impressed I've been with this bait here. So that's my top water presentation, and I'll throw those obviously on, you know, a heavy rod with braided line, and I'll try to get some top water bites. So other than that, though, everything else has been pretty much soft plastics. They're biting off of the bottom, at least where I'm fishing this month, you guys. I'm getting a lot of bites off of the bottom. I'm not getting a lot of reaction bites where I'm fishing. The water's very clear, and I've been searching new areas. I've been doing a lot of fishing in new areas, and this is basically what's been working for me in these areas. So the number one bait that I have been throwing this month, and the number one bait that I would say has caught me the most fish this month, is definitely a Shaky Head. So before I get into a Shaky Head, I kind of just want to talk a little bit about the equipment, because this is what I've had in my hands 75% of the time this month, and that's my spinning rod. My spinning rod is Dobbins Fury 7-foot medium heavy. I got that paired with an Abu Garcia Revo SX on 12-pound fluorocarbon. That's what I like to use. And you know, I'll go down when I'm on a lake or fishing elsewhere. I'll go down to probably 8, even 6 pound. I was throwing this around Berryessa this month on 6 pound, but in the Delta, I don't go below 12. Use P-line, very, very strong line, and I never lose fish on it. I never break off at the knot. I never break off anywhere. If I'm having any issues, it's with either the hook or tearing that hook out of the fish's mouth. So that's why I like P-line. You guys, that's my favorite brand of fluorocarbon line. It's very, very strong. A lot of people will complain about the memory of that line. However, you need to do a couple of things. You need to spool it onto your spool counterclockwise. The way they spool it onto the spool is they do it clockwise. So by spooling it onto your reel counterclockwise, you guys, that's how you are going to help with some of that line memory. And also you can use the silicone spray, the line memory spray. You know, spray that into a towel and reel that line in over it, you guys. You just take care of that line. You can't just take it right out of the box and put it on. You got to put it on correctly. That's how you do it. So let's get back into the Shaky Head. That, like I said, that's the #1 bait I am throwing this month. And this is the type of Shaky Head that I like to throw. This is an owner twist lock, a 1/4 ounce with the green pumpkin head. It's got a 4/0 hook on it. Like I said, it's a 1/4 ounce, which makes me feel like I'm moving my bait a little bit faster, trying to get those bottom reaction bites, and I can get down. I don't get stuck on the top of the weed lines. I can actually penetrate those weed lines and get down into them with this. So as you can see on here, I got this little craw on here. This is what I have been slaying them on. I have been doing really, really well on this bait, and I have not been able to keep it off. And the reason why I feel like I've been doing well on this bait is because the fish in the area are eating crawdads, and they're accolading to the bottom bite. So this is Big Bait Bites Real Deal Crawl. It's a 4-inch craw. This is just in a green pumpkin color. Just matches the the green pumpkin head on the Shaky Head. This has been doing really, really well, you guys. I'll just kind of throw this like a Texas rig or a jig. This is, when it comes to a Shaky Head, you guys, this is the way that I like to throw a single compact application. When I want to have, the weight pinned to the hook, this is what I use. I don't use a Texas rig with a bobber stop on it pretty much ever. If I am throwing a Texas rigged anything, that weight is not going to be pegged. It's going to be able to slip freely, and that's the way I prefer to do it. In my opinion, that's the way a Texas rig is supposed to be. The only exception for me, obviously, is when I'm doing some heavy covered punching and I'm using, a 1 ounce, 1.5 ounces, even a 3/4 ounce tungsten weight. Then I will choose to peg it, because at that point I'm either punching submerged or emerged vegetation, and I feel like I need it. However, when I'm just flipping and pitching, you guys, I use a Shaky Head, and the reason why is because it's just a lot more compact. When you fish a Texas rig and you use a bobber stop, basically this is what you get. You get the same kind of deal as a Shaky Head, only you have a bullet weight. You don't have that flat head, which is going to allow you to sit on the bottom. This is an unsalted craw, so when I pull this bait like a Texas rig, it's going to land on the bottom, and it's just going to sit there just like a craw in its defensive state. And I'm going to sit there, I'm going to shake that tip of the rod, and these little claws are going to move, and this is going to look like a crawdad in a defensive state, kind of just trying to fend off these bass, and they come and absolutely kill it. So that's highly recommended. You guys try that out. Another thing that I've been doing is on this Shaky Head here is I've been just throwing a big worm. This worm here is made by Buddha Baits. It doesn't have an actual name for the worm, which is why I'm showing you the package. As you can see, it's just got this big, it's like a big, thick 6-inch worm with a bulbous tail like that, you guys. And this is the Shaky Head worm that I've been throwing. It's also unsalted. So I'll kind of just bob this around and Texas rig this. Same deal. It'll stand up, and I'll shake that rod tip and make that tail quiver. The bass have been pretty lethargic where I'm fishing, so this has been getting me bit a lot. This is a really, really good search bait for me. I'll throw this on my spinning rod, and I feel like this can give me everything I need, because not only is this a bulbous, flat-tailed worm that can be used as a shaky head. As you can see right here, it's got this little slot on it that you could tear open, and now you actually have a little paddle tail. So this hook application, I can actually throw it like a swim bait. I can throw it out there and burn it, and this thing looks like, you know, just a small bass or a small fish. So I can do 50-50 presentations, meaning half of my presentation is on the bottom doing my thing, and then the other half is just basically burning this like a swim bait. That's why I love using shaky heads, you guys. You can throw anything on them. You could throw a craw, you could throw a worm, you could throw a fish, and this will get you done on everything you need to do except top water. So that's why I prefer the shaky head opposed to Texas rigs in most situations. So the bite has been really finessey. I've been doing a lot of drop shotting as well. Pretty self-explanatory. I'll just show you the drop shotting worms that I've been using this month. Obviously I use a Zoom trick worm. That's the #1 worm that I like to drop shot, especially in this moon dust color with the bluegill spawn happening. This is what I'm throwing a lot. I also really like to throw zipper worms. This is the zipper worm, shaken worm here. I'll throw this in this Delta red color, which gets me a lot of bites. I've been bit really good on this month. You know, dropping that on, I'll throw this on a shaky head. I'll also throw this weightless. It actually floats, so they'll come up and they'll eat it right off the top of a bed. And you know, this worm works really well. And in clearer waters, when this red worm isn't getting me bit, I'll just go to like a more natural green pumpkin. These zipper worms, they have the ribs on them, so you know, in dirtier waters I like to throw these. They'll get you a little bit more of a bite, I think, because of the water displacement. So other than that, I'm flipping and pitching here and there. When I'm not on the shaky head, I'll throw in a brush hog. I Texas rig my brush hogs with the slip weight. The reason why I like the slip weight is you throw it out, and what happens is that weight goes down and falls, and your brush hog or whatever your flipping bait is becomes technically weightless. You'll get, you know, up to a foot, about a foot of line that is unpegged, and it'll slowly fall. And when that fish grabs that bait, it's not feeling the weight. It feels very natural, and I feel like they hold on longer. So that's why I feel like I get bit more not pegging my Texas rig, because as it's falling, it does its own natural action. It doesn't just fall straight down, you know, with one motion. It'll just kind of just move around and look very natural. Last but not least, I've been doing a little bit of punching. Not a lot. So punching emerged vegetation like hyacinth and pennywort, that sort of thing. And then in addition to that, I've kind of just been throwing a Zoom frog. This is a Zoom horny toad. Very good for lethargic bass. I'll put it on, you know, a belly hook or even weightless, and I'll throw it out there and do a lot of bed fishing. The only big fish I've been catching this month are on beds. I'm catching tons of 2 to 3 pound bucks, you know, beating banks and searching. However, when it comes to the bigger females, those big old Florida girls, I've been having to finesse them off of their beds. I haven't really been getting a reaction bite. I haven't been throwing a spinnerbait or a chatterbait in this wind, which is kind of surprising because I'm just not getting bit as many times as I want to. I don't want to get bit 5 times a day. I want to get bit 10 times a day. So these are the things that I'm doing right now. And yeah, that's how it's been going out here on the Delta this month. So I want to take this time to thank everybody for watching my videos. I very much appreciate it. I also want to take this time to invite you guys to filthyanglers.com. Check out their awesome apparel. I have a sweet discount code. Use FilthyNick at checkout. You could save 10% off your entire order. Summer's coming. They got awesome tank tops, hats like the one I'm wearing, sunglasses, everything you need, okay, you guys? So check out filthyanglers.com. I'm going to be making a couple more videos this month too, guys, so stay tuned for that. I appreciate the views, and let's just keep the ball rolling.